Hi, I'm Adam Neeson.
Hi, I'm Jim McLean.
And welcome to the NI Scene.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I'll be back.
I'll have what she's having.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Here's looking at you, kid.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Jim, this week we have a special topic. We're not going to do top 10 business, but we're going to talk about something that we're both very passionate about.
Yes.
Both have been slightly annoyed about.
Yes.
And the internet seems almightily confused about.
Yes.
And that is the latest season of Doctor Who with Ncuti Gatwa and what transpired with the finale. I think it's probably best if we do a series overview rather than just talking about.
And I think enough time has passed now since the finale.
Yeah.
That we can talk spoilerifically.
Yeah. As also, if you're listening to a Doctor Who centric podcast, you're probably a fan of Doctor Who, and if you're not a fan of Doctor Who, you're going to be like, what do you mean Rose Tyler? I don't know what that means.
Oh, hello.
Fuck me. See, whenever it was sort of, because they put it online immediately, to kind of be like, look guys, look who we got, as if everybody's going to be like, fucking class. Secret Diary of a Call Girl's own Billy Piper is back. And they had that hello sort of intro to Billy Piper as she's known in the credits. Just introducing Billy Piper.
I'm still confuddled by that, and I don't know if that's going to be something to do with the fact that they don't know what's happening with Doctor Who as we record. I know there's a new animated series or a CBB series has been announced, but there's no word on what's happening with the official. We don't know what's happened to the keys of the TARDIS just yet.
I think the fact that they've announced the CBB series and haven't been like, Disney's producing it, is probably a sign that Disney have went, well, fuck this. We're not making any more of this shit. And also with it saying introducing Billy Piper, I found that weird because she's been on the show before, so what do you mean introducing?
Yeah.
Usually you say introducing if it's like, oh, it's a new actor to the role. Because usually it says whoever it is as the Doctor.
Yeah.
But it just says Billy Piper, unless she is playing just herself.
Did they do something similar with Tennant? David Tennant, when he came back for the anniversary episodes after Jodie Whittaker? I can't remember. Was he David Tennant as the Doctor?
I think it's David Tennant as the 15th Doctor.
Yeah.
Is what it said.
Yeah. Because Ncuti Gatwa is still, weirdly, the 15th Doctor.
Or no. Yeah, 14th Doctor. And then Ncuti's the 15th Doctor.
Yeah. You don't want to get, Doctor Who nerds, those keyboard warriors.
Do you know whenever a Doctor...
I love you guys, I'm just saying that, but, you that's the kind of thing that fucks them right off.
Do you know whenever somebody's like, I love 9, and you're like, you have a go in your head, you're like, right, Sylvester McCoy. Try and go through everybody. It's a show that is full of controversy in the sense that Russell T Davies came back. He had 3 specials with David Tennant, and then introduced Ncuti Gatwa, and that sort of set it up for, right, we're going to get back into what made Doctor Who great to begin with.
Fun.
Yes, Russell T Davies, introduced it back in 2005, and you sort of had funny stories, good sci-fi stories with a lot of heart and a lot of grit and a lot of darkness. And people were sort of like, right, we're going to get it back on track from Jodie Whittaker and what Chris Chibnall had done for the past couple of years. Obviously now, in retrospect, everybody sort of has to owe a bit of an apology to Chibnall.
Do we, though?
Yeah. Because
do we?
The majority of his episodes are better than the majority of Ncuti's episodes.
Yeah, I'll give you that. My problem is the fact that he, from a screenwriting point of view, from a writer's point of view, he got really good, particularly in the second, you have, what is it, not the Flood, that's from the Flux. Mm-hmm. You had the Flux, which was a great idea. You then have like the second series with the Master coming back. He tees up a bit like this might become a thread with Russell T Davies. Maybe not so much this season, but the first season is like tees up really good and interesting ideas and just serves up something a bit underwhelming. And I think if I was to listen back to the various guises of this pod when we talked about the various versions of Doctor Who, and particularly around that time, I think I said, particularly at the end of the finale of the second run, it's like it felt a bit Russell T Davies, where he kind of set up a really interesting idea. It was like, oh, the Master, the Cybermen, and then we have weird fucking Cybermen kind of village people walking out, and it's like, oh, okay.
The most Russell T Davies thing Chibnall ever did was have the Master dancing to Rasputin.
Yes, which I kind of liked.
It was great.
Yeah.
And I think with Chibnall's era, Chibnall, for as much as a underwhelming writer as he was, he at least sort of delivered on things. You know, even
I'll give you.
Whereas Russell T Davies somehow, it's weird because his first run, RTD's first run on Doctor Who, fantastic. He then went off. He made stuff like It's a Sin.
Yeah.
Made a lot of stuff for Channel 4, and whenever it was announced that he was going to come back, everybody was like, fantastic. It's the guy we loved from before. He's sort of matured a bit. He's able to tell more open stories, especially with people of different sexualities, different races. It's a sort of...
and I'll probably not the right term, different disabilities or different abilities.
Yeah.
Different disabilities.
Yeah, it was more open to, different types of people, not just the white man and the white girl going on adventures through space. And I think everybody was really happy when he came back and Tennant came back and Ncuti being cast. Everybody loved him on Sex Education.
Yeah.
And by the time you sort of watched the Christmas special with Ncuti and Ruby Sunday...
Yeah. Can I, just on that point, I know we're jumping about, that kind of introduces the Time Hotel. Mm-hmm. I was watching that, I was kind of going, oh, this is a mess of an episode. It's all over the place. I beloved at the end of that sequence. It's, what do you call her, from Derry Girls?
Mm-hmm.
Nicole Scherzer.
Nicole Callaghan, is it?
Your girl from Derry Girls.
Your girl from...
The wee lesbian girl from Derry Girls.
Gets her bops out on Bridgerton.
Yes, and she's very proud of her breasts, her fantastic breasts. There's a whole thing about that. It's not me being a sleaze.
Here, Jim.
But
what's happening?
But I watched that, the Christmas special. We've talked about the first series on the previous guys of this pod, where I think it's fair to say we were left underwhelmed.
Well, you tell me if you've heard this one before. A lot of setup, and then when you're sort of told what it's been led to, you're like, okay.
A lot of setup, particularly for Ruby's character.
Yes.
And it tries to, as I think I said it tonight, it tries that difficult thing of doing, we're going to set up something, but it's a double bluff. Mm-hmm. And the idea being, oh, well, okay, they're trying to distract us with something else. And we had Anita Dobson in the first season. Her character kept popping up. And then we had her more so in the second season. And then that gets revealed. We'll not spoil that just yet. It's Rani. But you have that. And it's like, all right, okay, is that what you have been building up? Because it's so obvious. It's so obvious that it's not interesting.
Well, even whenever something is obvious, it's what you do with it.
Yeah, when something's so obvious, when you do that, yeah, exactly. When you do what you do with it, it's like, don't try to create a mystique or mystery about that character. Because people, and I love, I guess, what Russell T Davies would have probably loved is the fact that he, and through both series, has created internet chatter, whether it's positive or not. Mm-hmm. People were speculating about, because her character was Mrs. Flood.
Yes.
So it's like, is it River Song or anything like that? Or is, there was other...
Sort of, is it Susan?
Yeah, and fuck, don't even get me started in that, because that gets brought in.
Yeah.
And that's been in both these runs. And you're left going, well, why?
I think a lot of the stuff was the fact that she was breaking the fourth wall, it was a new element to Doctor Who.
Yes.
That you're like, right, he's getting into gods. Could be a god of storytelling sort of situation where they know they're in a TV show, you know, and it's sort of nodded and winked to that a few episodes whenever the Doctor was talking to fans of Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
During the Lux episode. We will go episode by episode in a few bit. We're sort of giving an overview. Yeah. But, so there was sort of like, he had all these plates spinning, but...
A few of them smashed.
Yeah, and it's like...
And a few of them I fucking jumped on afterwards.
The plates... It's he just kept on spinning, and you're like, right, so what's your next trick? And he's like, but have you seen the spinning plates? And you're like, but Russell, please, something. And again, when you have an IP that is famous for having stuff like the Master, the Daleks, the Cybermen, you know, people expect a certain thing, and you either...
Nicole Coughlan, by the way.
Nicole Coughlan with her fantastic boobies.
Fantastic breasts.
And where to find them.
And a finale that made me cry and joy to the world.
Yes, and was sort of brought back in the finale, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of. But you kind of want Russell T Davies to sort of surprise you in a new sense of either he brings back an old character, which he did in the first series, and everybody went, what? Whenever he brought back the...
Big Dog.
The Big Dog villain. I can't remember the name of it. Sinak?
Sinak, yeah.
That was called.
I could be getting it wrong.
I'm sure Doctor Who people will be annoyed by this.
Who the fuck are these guys?
Don't you watch the show?
Yeah. Doctor Who?
Doctor what?
Who's your ma?
But, you know, bringing that back, and it's sort of like, you know, it gets the people on side. Oh, it's a classic villain we haven't seen in years. What's he going to do? Oh, he's going
Fuck off.
He's going to drag him through time, or drag him through the vortex portal or something. And it's sort of like, right, second season, you're going to bring back another villain. We clearly all know it's the Rani. What are you going to do with it? Sort of nothing, and also have a big CGI skeleton dog again in the finale.
Yeah, which is Omega. Which
Yeah.
I have dipped in and out of Doctor Who over the years. So Sylvester McCoy, you had previous pod, the previous guy, you had a wonderful summer with.
And maybe Jim, come Comic-Con in September, we might take a funny photo with.
Yes, possibly. Oh, it'll be a very confused looking Sylvester McCoy as we try to explain him this one joke, and he looks at us to go, I'm sorry, what? And we'll take the photo at that point. But anyway, so Sylvester McCoy was my gateway drug into Doctor Who. I remember I think it was a Dalek episode. It was the first time I think the Daleks hovered up a staircase, and I was, whatever age I was like, wow, this is fab. I love this. And then I think maybe Saturday or Sundays they BBC played older episodes. So I've not chronologically and not in massive kind of bingey, but have dipped in and out of the various Doctor Who's and the various actors that have played Doctor Who over the years. And then it came back, as we say, but I find it weird that Russell T Davies, he's trying to do this bow balancing thing of trying to look, which is respectable, but I think he gives himself so much work in the sense that there are fans of Doctor Who that have just come on board with the reboot with Eccleston, and that's their gateway.
Yeah.
But then he's trying to bring on board all the older fans and saying there's so much mythology and so much history in Doctor Who. And I think, I'm not saying he shouldn't, but he just, it serves up something really small. And I'm trying to think, as we sit, Ncuti Gatwa, did he even get to face off against the old Daleks? No. It's
one of those things that it feels like, right, you were... Would you even call it clever in the first season to be like, right, you've pulled from a classic episode of Doctor Who a villain that we haven't seen in a while?
Yeah.
Very good.
Because you mentioned Chris Chibnall.
Yes.
He, in the first series with Jodie Whittaker, went all new. He didn't allow himself. He said, one of the things he said is that I do not want to go back to classic Doctor Who villains. I'm going to try new. And then when, I think it was the Christmas special, was the first time she faced off against the Daleks. I thought this, like, they tried to do something with the Daleks. And I was like, okay, this is quite good. I am a fan of the Jodie Whittaker tenure.
Yeah.
I think, like here, Ncuti Gatwa, fab actor, criminally wasted. I think he, coming back to that point, I'm not going to repeat it ad nauseam, he served up some great ideas at times. Like the Mary Shelley Frankenstein-esque episode, second series with the Cyberman, I thought was amazing. It's just that he delivered something like Russell T Davies pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
And here with the first season, I give it a pass. It's like, okay, you've brought it back, and I have to accept that you're coming. He's treating this not only, it's like a reboot of the reboot, because I think they were trying to rebrand it as season 1.
Yeah, it's like, this is a Disney-fied
This is like
Doctor Who.
the new Doctor Who. And they then tried to reboot it again. They said, right, it's a kid's show, and then the first episode in that tenure of Ncuti was like Space Babies. And then he was like, oh, well, you know, you're also critical of that episode. It's going to be really important going forward. Yeah, right.
Is it?
Is it though? And then it came back. And then we had, as we say, the first series. I think we both at the time, when we did our little kind of each week, there was never an episode really until the kind of Bridgerton-esque episode.
Rogue?
Was like, yeah, Rogue, where it really got interesting. And I just said at the time I was really bored of each episode. Do he cry?
Yeah.
He have a little cry. And then they carried that on this year. Because I know there's all the talk the first season, the first like proper like horror episode of Doctor Who. Was it Inches 20?
27 yards.
27 yards, which had a great idea. And then that's another episode that they've now went, well, retcon, it's actually very important. And it's just like as if he kind of like tried to throw everything back into this second run. And it just was muddled. And like we've got an episode like Well. I think it's the fourth episode.
Fifth.
She was like, well, I've been paying attention.
I have it right in front of me, that's why.
Which is a call back to
Midnight.
Brilliant David Tennant episode. It's just a great kind of like bottleneck kind of episode. Doctor Who, the Doctor is stuck somewhere. There's something creepy going on. And there's a monster that you can't quite see, but everyone can kind of see it out of the corner of their eye. Great idea. It's like kind of like what Moffat then expanded, I guess, with the silence.
Yes.
And it's like the villains that they're there. You see them, you look away, you forget about them. That has been my favourite episode. Probably of the Ncuti Gatwa tenure.
And it's just an episode where he doesn't really feature that much.
No, he doesn't. And then you have other episodes where you have Ruby coming back, and you have the villain of sorts, the villain. Oh, what's his name? Who I had forgotten about.
Your man from Little Mermaid.
Yes, I had forgotten about him, and then he pops up in the finale, and you're like, what? Oh yeah, and it's like, I think I said to you, it was like, so you have the Interstellar Song Contest episode, which you love because Ryland was there.
Yeah, I'm a big
You loved
head.
it.
Yeah,
you loved it. Your dream would be to get a photo of you and him and Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, the great
All
summer we
in
had
one.
together.
That would be the best summer of your life.
Yeah.
And I had completely, because I was like, what the fuck did the Interstellar episode go? It literally jumped from like there's that, and then it's like this weird kind of world that they're living in where it's like, all right, okay, Russell T, you've watched an episode of WandaVision. And then you reminded me, it's like, oh, don't forget, at the very end of that episode, the TARDIS explodes. And you're like, oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
So did they.
I'd forgotten about that. And you have the reveal with the Rani. As I know we're kind of jumping about the place. And you were like, we're going to go episode by episode, and I'm just jumping about the place like I do. But it's...
Well, let's start from the start, Jim.
Okay.
Episode 1, Robot Revolution. You're probably going to have to remind me of episode names because my phone died. I can't remember. But Robot Revolution was the introduction of Belinda.
Yeah.
The new assistant who'd we seen the actress before in the Stephen Moffat episode from the season before. Where Doctor
And it was come back to the church that
Yes.
Moffat created with the in his tenure.
Yes, and
Matt Smith tenure.
yes, it was fun to see her sort of return because you're like, oh, is there a bit of mystery here? Spoilers, there's not. And and it was fun as a Doctor Who fan to be like, it's a new Doctor. He's met a woman of colour who's a nurse, and they're going into space. Where have I seen this before? Hiya, Martha Jones. But Robot Revolution, they kind of go to a planet where Belinda is like the robot queen.
Yeah.
She's like being held.
So her boyfriend's like is someone who gaslights her, someone who's a pretty horrible guy.
Yeah.
But buys her a planet or star.
Yeah, it's one of those like buy online.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I named a star after you.
Yeah. Interesting idea for a finale. I think the robots were a wee bit too like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy kind of like it was fine. I have to expect it like Matt Berry.
Well, I was
not Matt Berry, the other one, Matt Lucas to pop up again.
Well, I was thinking more of do you remember the Christmas special with Greg Davies?
Yeah, sorry, that's the one. Yeah.
Sort of robot. And the episode sort of, it's a weird one because the Doctor becomes like friends with like this girl for like a scene.
Yeah.
And then she gets killed and then you get the shooty. Single tear.
Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I little cry.
The episode kind of ends with a wrap up of the boyfriend is like wired into this like machine thing.
Yeah, he's like the villain in Superman 3.
Yes, but less scary.
Jeez, that's a thing of nightmares.
That's pretty good. And then, in case you didn't understand it, Belinda looks right into the camera and says, "Oh my God, it's the planet of the incels," which at that point you're like, "Oh no!" Like I know people call it Doctor Woke because people of color and people of disabilities and different forms and stuff, and that's all bullshit. But whenever you're really writing it in like that, it's like, Russell, we get it. You don't need to say it out loud.
This is the thing. I said this to you, and I have and I hate the fact that I have to go, well, I don't have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with that. If you're going to make Doctor Who more representative, fine. If you want to get it from a more diverse, if you want to showcase everybody, I don't even have an issue with what they did with Davros, because I was like, that actually makes sense in the sense that Davros shouldn't be seen as a villain. I don't think I've ever really thought about it that way, but then as someone who hasn't, without going open a can of worms for myself, I got the point they were trying to make with Davros, and I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Totally get. I know there's people like, Davros should be raking around the place in his wee Dalek suit. It's like, no, I kind of get where you're coming from. No bother with it. It's the fact, and I think you've alluded to this, and I was saying this before, it's like, all that stuff, and it's not the right way to put it, but that's how I'm going to say it got in the way of storytelling.
It's surface level.
Yeah, it's the fact that the storytelling, what gets you from your A to your Z each week, the fact that wasn't strong enough to hold your attention, that you then were like, oh, this or that. I never had an issue with it, but it's the fact that you're noticing those things meant that the actual narrative, the screenplay, the writing isn't strong enough.
It becomes apparent anytime the Doctor goes to unit, and everybody was excited when it was like, right, we're having a trans character with Donna's daughter.
Yeah.
We're having the lady in the wheelchair. We're having our wee favourite bloke who had the machine gun. And
he was tuckered out that day.
So good. And it was opening it up, but then you just, like, anytime it cuts back to a unit, they're either there not saying anything, or they're just not there at all.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, we wanted representation, but not this surface level bullshit of just people just being there just because.
Yeah.
And I think that might be the problem with Doctor Who as a whole, for these first two seasons. It was afraid to go too sci-fi, afraid to go too dark, afraid to really commit to anything. So when you're watching it week to week, there is no real through line. There is no character development. It's sort of like he went on all these separate adventures and then he regenerated. Like, for Ruby Sunday, there is a conclusion at the end of her season 1 story. but they clearly wanted to bring her back for season 2, and she either wasn't available or they didn't know what to do, because with Belinda, sort of how she ends at the end of the season 2 finale, you sort of feel like, well, that could have easily been Ruby.
Yeah.
And if it was meant to be Ruby, fine, but...
I know you, when we talked about the first season, you were pretty critical about it, and we'll clarify that. I think you were not a fan of her acting.
No, and I think, you know, she got a standalone episode with 27 yards, and she sort of got a standalone episode in this season with the...
Conrad Clark, that was the name of the villain I was looking for.
Conrad Clark. She got... I can't remember the name of that episode. We'll get to it in a minute. But she sort of...
Lucky Day.
Lucky Day. She has her own sort of standalone episode in that, and I don't...
You liked that episode, from what I remember.
I do, because at least it was...
Because I was like, I think I texted you, because I had... As we said before, I've had some stuff the last couple of months and kind of had caught behind in Doctor Who. Said, right, I'm going to sit down and watch a few episodes. I'd watched a few, then there was, I think, Well, which, as I say, is my favourite episode, probably of Ncuti's tenure. And then I think that was either the episode before it or the episode after it. Mm-hmm. And I think I said to within about 10 minutes, it's like, I was like watching it in the evening, 10 o'clock. It's like 10 minutes. I was like, is it going to be a Ruby episode? Nah. I'm out. I texted you, and you were like, you know what, mate? It's probably one of the best episodes of the season so far.
I think it's just a good episode in the sense of exploring the world, because they just do this all the time. I hate an episode where the Doctor's in it, but he's not in it. If you're going to have a Doctor Who free...
Yeah, they probably thought they were doing another Blink episode.
Yeah. If you're going to have a Doctor Who free episode and sort of show how the companion has learned a lesson from her time with the Doctor... I like that and how it sort of affected her, and, you know, the Conrad guy sort of being this truther. It was sort of like, oh, you know, they're taking real world stuff and applying it to, like, the sci-fi-ness of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. Unfortunately, what they did with Conrad towards the end, I'm sort of like, oh, it's kind of sully, that episode, because it's just a weird, like, and he's also here. But episode 2, Lux, you had Belinda and the Doctor going to Miami, which looked like Port Rush.
Never looked so good.
That Disney money doesn't stretch too far.
Yeah.
But you had Alan Cummings as a animated thing.
Yeah.
Like a guy...
Another god
who lived on a cinema screen and was abducting people with the power of light. And it's sort of, again, you can see the premise of it being interesting, and getting Alan Cummings is cool, and having, you know, that old-fashioned cinema sort of vibe is fun. But again, it just, surface level, it's maddening whenever it's like they walk into the changing rooms and walk back out of the changing rooms as if it's meant to be like, oh, the Doctor and her are going on this fun adventure and they've dressed up. But it just feels really awkward. There was never a point like in the Tennant era. Do you remember whenever they go back? I think it's like the something lantern, and they go back and he sort of dresses as like a mod, and they go about on like the moped and whatever. Like, that was like fun, but it just feels really forced.
Well, there is. I mean, I always remember. I think was it Charlie Brooker when he was doing his screen wipe, because he is a big Doctor Who fan.
Yeah,
and he talked about what he loved about particularly Tennant, and what he loved about the first kind of Russell T Davies era. Moving aside Chris Eccleston, and Chris Eccleston has talked quite a lot about his feelings towards Davies. Talked about his experiences in that first series, which is kind of partly the reason why he left. And I do love Eccleston. I went back actually and rewatched those ones not so long ago. I think around the time when they all became available on BBC. And it's like, they were fun.
Yeah,
they were. At times you kind of look at them; they were silly, but you forget what a good actor Chris Eccleston was. But hey, I'm the person that properly talking about crying. I cry all the time when Tennant left. Inconsolable. And I remember, and I think it's the line, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And I properly just... I remember it's as vivid as shitting my pants watching Ghostbusters 2, sitting in South Belfast in my little rented flat, watching it, and there was my lovely, then girlfriend was then girlfriend, now lovely wife, was there, and she looked at me and go, "Really?" And it's the first time I can think of, and have someone who has had fandoms, and is like, I've loved this and loved that. It's the first time I can remember being properly, like, not invest, but in that sense of upset at this kind of thing changing. And then I'm the person who then thinks fucking Matt Smith is probably my favourite Doctor of the modern tenure, particularly that first season with Moffat. And you just go, right. I still, that is a series I have revisited more than any of the recent Doctor Who's. I love that. It was just like Moffat got the balance right of trying to do a series arc, individual episodes, and doing the idea of looking back as well as looking forward. But I always remember Charlie Brooker making the point, it's like, you look at Tennant and you go, he's someone who you think could burn the world down. And then minutes later, he's running around the place like he's in an episode of Ghostbusters and it's all a bit Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, Russell T Davies has that in him, and he's had that with this tenure. And I just... for me, it just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's Russell. Well, I think the problem's not Ncuti Gatwa.
No, absolutely not.
Fabulous. Don't know why I went all Strictly Come Dancing there. Fab actor, a bit like Jodie Whittaker. I think it's just been left shortchanged. And you look at what could have been. And you've got a writer that has maybe had ideas. They haven't worked.
I think it's an issue of a singular writer. Like, I know you can have a showrunner, but the best episode of Ncuti's is the episode written by Kate Horn, the Rogue episode. And
would you put that above Well?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Because Well has the luxury of being a sequel.
Yeah. Well, a sequel that we didn't know.
Yes, but if
Davis alluded that there would be an unexpected sequel.
Yes, but if the Well was like the first time we were introduced to that, I'd be like, fuck, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was like, oh, we'll do that again.
Well, it made you want to go back and watch Midnight.
Yeah, literally. You were like, well, Mum will go watch a good episode of Doctor Who. But to get back to Lux, it's again, what did you feel about Lux? Like,
I thought Lux was fine, and it was then I was like, when they started doing the breaking the fourth wall, and the weird bit where it went in talking to the Doctor Who fans, it didn't work.
No,
it didn't work for me. And do you know what? I come back to a point I made at the end of the first series. Do you know what? And you're someone who's a writer. You may well either disagree with me or agree with me. You could almost feel the kind of like self-congratulatory pat on the back going, isn't this really clever that we're going to have, it's going to be the Doctor, they'll be talking to the camera, talking to us, they're not going to be talking to Doctor Who fans, that's us, we have our thoughts about this, that, and other, there's Doctor Who fans in it, and then you're like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work when you're trying to like, it's like that episode of Red Dwarf, isn't the sadness, it's the misery squid. I'm going to get the phrase right. It's like the episode that kind of wrapped up Red Dwarf for a while, when it was like, oh, it's all been is it a video game, or it's all
back to reality.
Yeah, when it's all been that, and you kind of go, that worked really well in the context of that episode. It didn't work here for me, and it's the sense it's like I don't, and I haven't got this obsession with Davis suddenly from this obsession with gods. In whether that's kind of a Disney thing or something that you want to set up for something bigger and bolder, and of course that's why you're setting up to have Omega. I know we haven't really talked about that too much, but it was what it is. I thought it was a kind of a great idea for a villain, but a villain of the week, but you don't have to connect it into like the giggle, you don't have to connect it into the first season episode. You had the drag queen,
the Maestro.
Yeah, the Maestro. You had the Maestro, that kind of, because at one point, because I think doesn't the monster he kind of repeats lines
Yeah.
from Maestro, and you go, oh, is that going to be a return of that character of some sort? But no, it was fine. It was a perfectly serviceable Monster of the Week episode. It was just that's like, right, again, everything has to be connected.
Yeah, and this whole, like, we can't go back to the 24th of May in 2025 sort of through line doesn't really work as much, because in the first episode it showed you that the Earth had been destroyed.
Yeah.
So for the Doctor not to know that, but the audience to know that, just completely takes the air out of the balloon of knowing what the mystery is. The mystery sort of is the Earth has been destroyed, but
then the Earth hasn't.
Exactly,
been...
and with Doctor Who, you're like, well, obviously he's going to save it. But if it was just like, we can't get to this time period, we don't know why. That's a good mystery. But like the Doctor would be like, I can't get back there, and you're like, well, it's because it's gone.
Yeah, and then this kind of idea that he has to go to these various points to create this energy so that he can go back. And then there's the revelation that that's kind of the Rani's plan.
Yeah.
It was just... I don't know. This series has been the first in a long time of Doctor Who where I would say to you, hand on heart, Saturday evening when they kind of fecked about and changed the times when it was on, it was before Strictly, it was on after Strictly, and they didn't really this, that, or Christmas, it was like, right, I have to watch. It's on that 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, that's my time. Mum, you can watch Call the Midwife, your hour. Doctor Who special. Like, I remember the last one properly, I think I sat down, I was like, I'm going to love. And again, it was another one I bawled my eyes out at. Was it Last Christmas with Capaldi? Every Christmas is Last Christmas?
Yes.
Oh, just love that. It wasn't an amazing episode by any means, but I loved it. And it's like, that's like, I'm going to sit down, watch this. This series in particular has been the first one I've been like, you know what? Stuff's going on. I'll watch them. I'll binge Doctor Who. I'll watch maybe 3 or 4 episodes. You'll see it before the finale. And it became a case of like, it's like, I'm just watching this because I like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But I have no emotional engagement with this character. I've just found the kind of through lines for everything. I've been a bit confuddled. The companion, I like Belinda in the sense that she's someone who's unimpressed by the Doctor, but we've had that before. Who's, not getting swept up and going, we had the best. Like, my issue with Ruby is like, oh, he forms this super intense relationship and you're my bestest friend in the whole wide world that has ever been. You're the new and improved Rose. You're just the be all end all. And I get that cheesy thing that I think it was Moffat introduced, like the first face, my face, so it was your face, and that's why you get that. And you get that lovely little callback when Smith left.
Yes.
When everyone thought it was going to be Karen Gillan coming back, but they brought back the young Amy, and I was like, oh, lovely idea. But for me, just all the through lines from everything, it's just been over the place. The Well was just one of those episodes, because it caught me off guard, because I was kind of going, oh, is this going to be when I was watching it, I was like, oh, I'm getting vibes from what I've seen before. And I was thinking it was the episode, the kind of like Tennant series of specials where they go to Mars. I think it's maybe not
Waters of Mars?
Yeah, or it wasn't the Waters of Mars episode. It was the episode where they basically find the demon at the bottom.
42?
Yes. And I was like, oh, is this going to be a sequel to that episode?
43.
Yeah, and then and then it's like, oh, it's Midnight, which is genuinely, it's because I had rewatched those episodes. I'd watched a few. When you kind of cherry pick your favorite episode, and you go, I'm going to watch that. When you look back at the old series, and you go, I'm not going to watch the Peter Kay one.
Oh, well.
I'm not. I don't want to watch the episodes with what do you call him, Smithy.
Yeah,
I don't want. Well, that's the
Smith ones.
Matt Smith tenure. I don't want to watch them. And you can't even go back and you watch the early kind of Dalek episodes, like the finale episodes, and you go, like everyone always puts it on TikTok. It's like the smack talk between the Cybermen and the Daleks, and you're like, it's cringy.
Yeah,
but you kind of go, I was at that right age for that at the time. It's like, I loved it. It was silly. Would I love it? Probably not now.
At least there was a bit of silliness.
Yeah.
Whereas there's no silliness It's think about how silly the Beatles episode could have been.
Yeah.
Like it should have been A Hard Day's Night as a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
But instead it was Cilla Black.
You wanted more of Ncuti Gatwa with the old 3D glasses on.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been so good.
Yeah.
But like you say, episode 3...
And like a vacuum on his back.
Oh, that was so good. Episode 3, The Well, we've talked about it, Midnight sequel, probably the most impressive of the episodes, because it sort of sticks to a tone, and doesn't really fuck about that much.
Yeah.
Isn't really connected to the overall story, and is just one of those human stories that Doctor Who is really good at. Episode 4, Lucky Day.
You're more positive about it than me. I just was like, I get that they're trying to do a Doctor Who light episode, and I think we've had that with Ruby, particularly in 2 series now, because we had 26 or whatever yards.
Yeah,
we had that in the first run, which was fine. Apart from the fact I still kind of go like the fact that why did the Prime Minister run around the place out of the stadium like an absolute lunatic when he heard everything. If you're going to do a Doctor Who light episode, Moffat set the highest of bars with Blink. And I know Blink doesn't even really feature a companion, because it's the Doctor and the companion are mostly, I think, pop up a couple of times.
Yeah.
Or they're talking through a TV. That is the benchmark. But also, you have Kerry Mulligan.
Yeah.
A young Kerry. It's like when Andrew Garfield pops up.
Yeah.
In The Daleks Take Manhattan, which is not what it's called.
But it should have been.
Yeah.
Episode 5 after Lucky Day was the something in the
story
machine.
in the engine.
Story in the engine, thank
which loads of people praised. I couldn't get into it, and I think is that the first time you see the Doctor's. We're just going to say the Doctor's child, the Doctor's daughter.
Yes.
It's the first time you properly see her getting a call back to her from the Space Babies episode.
Yeah.
Or have I missed something?
No, that's the first time she sort of appears, and you're sort of like, right, what's that? Joe Martin returns as the Doctor from Jodie Whittaker's era, who I was fucking hoping that at the end of this series, Ncuti would have regenerated into her.
It would have been a lot... Considering, as we record, the uncertainty about where the old TARDIS is going to finish up and what the House of Mouse wants to or doesn't want to do with Doctor Who, it would have been a lot cleaner. But would you get keyboard warriors?
You're getting that anyway.
At 9 o'clock. Would you have really got that same response as like, oh, it's her?
I think you probably would have got more people excited.
I think you would have gotten people grumpier, because not so much because of her, not because of her casting, but I think it's that sense that, remember all that stuff that Chibnall set up. Then when Russell T Davies came on, everyone was going like, right, you're just going to brush that underneath the carpet and forget about all the Timeless Child stuff. And then in the 3 specials, like, no, this is all Doctor Who.
Yeah, and then after that he went, yeah, don't lift that carpet up. Because there's ways he could have easily tied all of that into this sort of end of stuff easily.
Now, have you heard all the theories online? And again, it's keyboard warriors. That the sense that the explanation to why it's Rose is the sense that when one of the last episodes she's in, she absorbs the energy of the TARDIS. So therefore, there's a thing he does with the screwdriver because he puts into it. This is not well explained. I know that this is going to be the explanation why it's not the Doctor.
Yes.
Or this is the explanation that they're going to use to kind of that it's... Because I'm guessing you're not in a situation... I don't think this is going to be a double bluff where you're going to suddenly have Ncuti back.
No.
I think he's more or less said he's done.
Yeah. And let's be real. The only reason Rose or Billy Piper's back is because they want to do an anniversary special with Tennant and Rose, and this was the only way they would be able to explain it where you would get them back. Now, would it be nice if Billie Piper was the new Doctor? Yes. But unfortunately, Billie Piper has already played a character in Doctor Who. Billie Piper is a fantastic actress, and if she was to come in and play a new Doctor, I would have fucking loved it. I think it would have been excellent. She's such a great actress. She's shown herself in recent years with, like, I Hate Susie on Sky, that, you know, she is a really fantastic talent. I know, like, when...
And she's a talented director as well.
Yeah, like, she was sort of cast back in the day as, like, sort of stunt
pop star.
Yeah, stunt casting in a way of, like, well, here's this young, attractive blonde woman to be...
Chris Evans talks really highly of her.
Well,
hey!
and I think, you know, it's one of those ones you can get annoyed about it and think about it, but realistically, when are we going to see? If they end up doing a bit of a break and in about 2-3 years' time, it just returns with a new Doctor.
And like what they did with Eccleston.
Yeah, it's sort of like, well...
And then they feel the need around an anniversary time to kind of explain.
Yeah. But yeah, so the engine and the story and the engine.
Big non-scary spider.
We both text each other Wild Wild West, and I really had a problem with the fact that the Doctor has been a white man for
5 minutes,
hundreds of millions of years. And then
sorry, I got that the wrong way around. Sorry. And
all of a sudden is, you know, has become a black man, and he's
thrown into that because the fact that technically, I guess this is kind of a clever thing that, well, Chibnall has done, because there's all these incarnations of the Doctor that we might never have seen before, because we've had a black Doctor before now. You can kind of give that some credence, but it felt very forced.
Like I said, surface level.
Yeah.
It's like, right, we have a black actor, we can tell these sort of stories now. And it's like, but with the history of the character, it doesn't make as much sense. It would have made more sense of, you know, he just loves there and loves telling stories.
Yeah.
But they made it a part of, we have this actor who's from Nigeria. We're going to, you know, play it more into the character now, which is fun, but when you don't really do much with it, it's sort of a fucking...
But here's the thing I'm going to say, right? And I'm going to put myself out of this box. And it comes back to... I remember many times ago when Black Panther was out in cinemas, right? And I remember going, it's fine. It's just another superhero movie. To me, white, 40-year-old guy who has, you know, been spoilt for choice. Spoilt in terms of what you've got at the cinema. And then hearing the likes of, seeing other people talking about what it meant to have a black superhero topping the box office, being front and center at that time for the MCU, great. So the fact that here's a story that's leaning into black culture, leaning into Doctor Who culture, maybe, and I'm just saying that, maybe it doesn't mean as much to us as maybe it was mean to someone else. I just found the story, in turn for me, just a little bit underwhelming and slightly overcooked, if I'm honest. Like, actually, you didn't need the spider.
Yeah.
You didn't need... The space spider was like, it's all right, we don't have confidence in this episode. Throw in a spider.
Yeah, and...
I need to rewatch it again, because when I watched it, it didn't grab me. I will admit that. But I'm just basically putting myself... saying it's like, that story didn't grab me, but for someone else, a black, you know, a young black boy, girl, trans, non-binary person watching that story, to see themselves represented. I know what you're saying in the sense that it's surface level.
It's just the
Doctor. But maybe us. I'm always conscious of. I'm always aware of this. Like, here's us, two white silly boys, talking about this. Our experiences are going to be totally different to, you know, black kid growing up somewhere in London, seeing some sense, or in Africa, seeing some sense of representation on a big, massive show like Doctor Who with such history that it brings.
But I feel I understand what you're saying completely, and I hope that if there's a black kid growing up watching this, that they're like, that's but Ncuti is my doctor.
Yeah,
and that's fantastic. But it's like
I feel they've been shortchanged.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Yeah, but it's like Doctor Who is the whitest shit in the world.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I feel like maybe, if you sort of had a companion that was like more connected on that side rather than just, the Doctor, it just felt off and forced.
Because what I liked, and I know I'm jumping in across you, was that sense, like, what was the episode in the first series when it was kind of like social media?
Oh,
it was
something bubble.
Yeah,
Dot
weird
bubble.
planet. And then you suddenly had, for a moment, the Doctor realising that people treat him differently.
Yeah.
Because he's black. And it's like, that's clever. Because here's someone who's been used to just being able to waltz into the room, show his psychic paper and do this. And suddenly people are treating him on a different level because he's black. It's like, okay, that's clever. It's not just surface level. Yes, for me, you devalue that point by little tear. And I know I'm saying that for funs and giggles, but it's just the fact that you have a doctor that cries more than any other doctor I can possibly think of. It loses its impact when it's every week.
Yeah.
That sequence would have been really powerful. But if you hadn't had the doctor crying the week before, the week after, it's like you devalue your own, the point you're trying to make, you devalue it. It's like, well, fuck, if he's going to cry, they ran out of, they've no ice for ice smokers, oh, I got to cry. And then at the same time, he's going to cry. It's like, and I'm sorry, listeners, racism is bad, cry.
Yeah.
People treat me different, cry. And I know it makes me sound like a cunt, but it's that sense that you devalue that from a writing point of view. And I don't know whether that's a Ncuti decision. I don't know if it's a Russell T Davies decision to do that. I get maybe it's a combination. You want to have a doctor that's, more in tune with his emotions. Really good thing. Men, we don't talk about our emotions. We don't talk about this. But that's not having a little single beautiful tear run down your cheek each week. It works once. It works once or twice. But the fact that it became a point nearly every week, he's like, I'm going to have a little cry.
I like it in the sense of the.
And I don't think he cried in the finale.
No.
No.
You're like, what?
Maybe he was like, thank fuck.
I like the sense of, if you've been a long time viewer, the Capaldi, very stern, the Whittaker, very repressed, and then the Tennant or whatever.
If you're like Tennant, whatever.
But
I know what you mean.
You're like, he's the 14th Doctor for 10 minutes, and then we're getting rid of him.
Do you know what I did like though in the second season? I think it was just in the finale. I'd forgotten about it. Like that's the kind of thing that Russell T Davies does really well. It's like he sets something up in the specials with Tennant, Mavity, right?
Yeah.
Everyone loves it. And everyone's like putting on like kind of the Sandra Bullock film that won the Oscars, Mavity, right? And then he hasn't really mentioned it at all. And then I think it came up in either the penultimate episode or the final episode. And they bring a reference to Mavity. And you're like, that's I'm not saying it's amazing screenwriting, but that's what a good screenwriter does. Like, you leave a little breadcrumb.
Hey.
That's a nice little thing. You bring them back. You don't force it through.
And it's next episode, the Intergalactic Song Contest or whatever it's called, with my hero Ryland.
And Graham Norton.
And Graham, because I said to you, joked whenever Ryland came out, clearly couldn't get Graham Norton, and then all of a sudden the hologram.
There he is.
Yay! Although how amazing would it have been if it was a hologram of Terry Wogan? Hello, it's me. Mavity plays a big factor in that because everybody gets sucked up into space. And again, it's another Doctor Light episode in a way because the people in the arena are more the gay couple.
Yeah. But you have a very angry Doctor in that episode.
That's what I loved. It's like, finally, fucking a different emotion than not just, all right, babes, and one single tear. It's like
and let's see what outfit the Doctor's wearing this week.
Yeah, because like apparently he had like fucking like 30 different outfits. And it's like there only was 12 episodes left. What are you doing?
Tennant just had a suit, a pair of trainers.
Look gorgeous. Yeah. With the intergalactic episode, fun, good commentary. The gay couple, they both had strengths that could help with the situation. I thought that was really well done. Belinda, really good, working with everybody. The Doctor using a confetti thing to fly through space, very Wally. And then this episode sort of ends, and then it has to be like, all right, I guess we'll get back to the shite plot again. TARDIS blows up. Mrs. Flood comes out of the fucking thing. Oh, it's me! I'm the Rani! And you're like, well, no shit. we guessed this 3 years ago.
Right. Here's the other thing. I know we're going to pull on a thread. The bi-generation.
Yes.
Right. So, is it just... Well, it's not a thing now. Because this is the weird thing that Davis has done. So we had at the end of the anniversary episodes, we had the bi-generation, which was just, I guess, a way of saying we don't really want to have to go through people like Jim who were traumatized. But the first time we had to get rid of Tennant, I know we came back with the Matt Smith episode, but it's like we don't have to say goodbye to him again. Right. So we've got a bi-generation. But then you also have kind of story plot holes galore. Now you've got 2 TARDISes. You've got 2 Doctors in theory. So here, when everything's going to shit, couldn't you get fucking Davey round to give you a wee hand to try and sort this? Oh, well, you have to keep that big budget for the special episodes. And I really thought they were going to bring back, at the end of this, that you were going to have some kind of connection with Tennant being brought back. Because you go to yourself, and this is come back to the point, when the through lines are muddled and not that interesting, when you start thinking about, well, what is old Tennant doing when all this is going on? When fucking that old dog's roaming around the place, turning everyone to dust. When the Rani's back. Like, why couldn't the Rani have went after Tennant?
Yeah.
Tennant's Doctor, it's like the obsession with Ncuti. And then suddenly, this thing that was like a one-off kind of weird thing that you kind of thought was reacting to, like what's happening with the giggle and the fact that he was hit by that gun. Oh. It's just, they all do it now.
Yeah, I guess they all sort of can and there's no reason, there's just sort of, and the way the Rani sort of interacts with Mrs. Flood.
Mr. Flood.
Mr. Flood after it. Mr. Chips from Catchphrase comes in.
Can you say what he's doing?
The way she sort of talks to Mrs. Flood afterwards, it's like, well, right, I'm the Rani now and you're not. And it's like, but surely this is the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
So what is happening? And it's also in a post-credit scene. So realistically, if you were watching that on the TV, you could have easily have been watching it, and then all of a sudden, Guy comes on. You're watching BBC One. Coming up next, Strictly Oh, there's another bit. What up?
Shh, better be quiet. Actually, Jordan Arnold, who's one of the presenters here, she does voiceover work for BBC, and she was doing the voiceover work.
Hell yeah!
She was like, she's like, shut up, Jordan. There's more to come. But we've had Anita Dobson, but I think it reminded me of that kind of when they brought the Master back the first time round. So you had
Johnson,
Derek Jacobi,
yes,
as the older Doctor,
so good,
and
older Master
doesn't know he's the Master because they had brought into this idea of the watch.
Yeah.
And again, some of my favourite episodes of Doctor Who.
And it's Russell T Davies setting something up.
Yeah, setting something up that's clever, and it's like, oh, okay, there's a watch. It's like, you've seen a watch like this, and one of the most over-the-top, you watch that sequence, over-the-top edited sequences, when it's like going from trying to do this and save the world, and you have, Tennant running back to see Jacobi pretty much kind of go, I'm actually he doesn't talk like that. He's not really, I'm actually the Master. He gets injured. He then regenerates into
John Sim.
And and then he's the Prime Minister.
Which had been set up in every episode before with
Saxon.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is really clever.
Yes.
That's payoff that delivers. You do it here. You kind of do something similar again. But I just don't know. And it's Archie...
Bunker.
Archie Punjabi. I might be getting that wrong. I liked her as the Rani because she felt very much like in keeping with that classic interpretation of the Rani.
Yeah.
But it's like, I would also been interested to see just the dynamic of an older Rani in Anita Dobson. I guess you've got to accept their stick, unless you're William Dafoe, what you can and can't do physically in physical action sequences. But then when the revelation, when it's revealed that her master plan is to create, to break reality by making a fake world so she can get what lies underneath it, so she can get Omega. But she doesn't actually want Omega to be alive. I think they just want to use Omega to create a new world, new set of Time Lords.
Yeah, which...
And it's just modelled.
How many times has that been done? How many times are we going to be like, we're bringing back Gallifrey, we're destroying Gallifrey? Yeah. Here comes Timothy Dalton as the King of the Time Lords.
King of the Time Lords, and is it? No, it's not. It's not. He's not hinted. Isn't it in that episode you kind of see what we believe to be the Doctor's parents? Well, I guess that's now kind of been wiped out with the Timeless Child.
Yeah, which, again, like I said before, Timeless Child, the theory online was that the Doctor was going to be the god of time.
Yeah.
And that's why the Time Lords can regenerate and stuff, or the god of life. And that's why he can regenerate. And that's why in every episode... the Doctor killed a butterfly and was using his regeneration powers to bring it back, and they kept in every episode saying he has 2 hearts. Every episode comes to the penultimate, which is Wish World, and the final episode, which was the part 3. No mention. And I know there's a lot of stuff online about reshoots and stuff. You had the actress's mum for Poppy being like, here, I was there on set and fucking Susan was holding Poppy while Ncuti was in the club dancing with Belinda. And then you have Rogue turning up on a screen saying, oh,
I love you, Doctor.
And you're like, what? What's happening? Okay, you have Jonathan Groff, cool. What are you going to do? Did you see the behind the scenes of him shooting it?
No.
So Jonathan Groff goes...
I love the way I said such a disinterested no.
No, shit. Jonathan Groff was like, they pulled me into the studio one day, stuck on this thing and gave me a script and I didn't understand any of it. I was like, I'll just read it to the camera in front of a green screen. And then they were like, and here it is in front of the table read for the actors, wheeled in a TV. Jonathan Groff comes on and they're like, oh, class. And you can see in their face, they're like, why the fuck's he here?
You know, do a wee bit from Hamilton there, mate. I'll be back. Just you. Yeah, he was back, and it's like Conrad was back, and I had forgotten about Conrad. And then it's like, oh yeah, I have to watch that. And it just felt like Davis was like throwing every single thing, every thread he had into the sink and hoping something stuck. And it didn't. Like, it's not even trying to make an omelette and ended up making scrambled eggs. It just was all over the place and just muddled. You could tell it had been retooled and rejigged, clearly, with a decision had been made, I'm leaving. And they handled it not badly in the sense that that's it, but it's like with Eccleston, clearly they had not intended for him to leave after one run in the series. But they kind of were able to retool it that it didn't feel like, oh, whoa, this is completely out of the world. It's like the bad wolf is Rose. It's not, they all think the Doc's will be the Doctor. And it's like, okay, that kind of works. And you don't have a massive issue. And then you have, of course, Tennant, and everyone loves Tennant. For this, it just felt like this is just, it's like a Marvel movie. And the fact that we know so much about reshoots and stuff now, it's like, yeah, this has just been reshot and retooled to within an inch of its life, and it doesn't, narratively, for me, make sense. And I'm sure there's people who loved it. I'm sure there's people out there who loved the episode.
I seen videos of people that watched it in the cinema. They showed the 2 episodes back to back, and we'll get to it in a second, but in the finale, whenever the Doctor's flying about on the thing, through the air, people in the cinema were fucking whooping and cheering.
Yeah, but they're the fucking people that kind of, clap when the plane lands. I'm sorry, but no, I mean, it was fun, but nah. And right, here's the thing. Even Amber, my lovely wife, who doesn't like Doctor Who, had they ended it, so I guess we're just spoiling. We're going to wrap up. We've been talking for just over an hour. So we have the element of the Doctor's daughter.
Which established in Wishworld, the penultimate episode.
Yes, so we have the Doctor. Suddenly we have...
And in Intergalactic before, we also seen a flash of Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter.
We see a flash of Susan. We also see, isn't it Poppy something? It's like, it's a nod to Poppy. So Poppy was in Space Babies. Mm-hmm. Turns out that... Right, okay. So she didn't really exist, but then they wished her into existence. But she kind of exists. And then they wanted her to be able to exist, even though she didn't. So they stuck Belinda in this big chamber down underneath the ground, or this big chamber that would be you wouldn't be able to affect whatever Conrad story he was telling. She then seemingly survives.
Yep.
And then
Belinda's just stuck with a child. That's not hers.
She's stuck with a child. And then there's that sequence, which I kind of loved in that finale, where we have them talking, Belinda and the Doctor talking, and for some reason, Ruby's just got, being this ordinary girl who's not a nobody, but in the sense of all the mystery about her character from the verse, is like, fucking nothing. She was only named Ruby because, her ma saw the sign. And then for some reason, she's the only one who can remember Poppy. Mm-hmm. And then there's a season where they have the coat.
Yeah.
And the coat suddenly gets smaller. My lovely wife properly teared up at that. And I was like, kind of going like, no, but I genuinely mean it's like really powerful piece of cinema.
Yeah.
Or TV. Had you kind of left it, had you wrapped it up there almost, in that sense that you have this forgotten character that even the Doctor can't remember, I'd be like, whoa, bold move. And then you just have this stuff where it's like the Doctor, it's like going back to the Richard Donner Superman 1, where it's like, right, I'm going to change the trajectory of the world, I'm going to bring this imaginary child back. And then he breaks the world. And this is where I don't understand. And then it's like, well, Belinda, all she ever wanted to do was just get home for her daughter. And that's why she had to be back on that date.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of confuddled. But if someone can sit down and explain to me and talk me through like I'm a 5-year-old, maybe that's what I need. But it's a sense, so... And then they show these sequences. And I'm going to go like... Do I need to go back and rewatch these episodes? Because there's these messages where I've got to get home to Poppy and this, that, and it's like, is that just in there in that finale where they've kind of altered perception and you're looking back? Or has it been there we just didn't notice it? I can't be arsed going back and rewatching it.
I don't believe, though, I think they were just done for the finale. I think it's the Wish World reality swapping, whatever, that sort of has changed the perspective of those scenes. But it wasn't there to begin with. There's stuff in like Robot Revolution in the first episode that people were pointing out that like Belinda's like, so is this your TARDIS? Even though like the Doctor had never been like, that's my TARDIS.
Yeah.
She just knows what a TARDIS is, and you're like, oh, is this setting up for something? I was like, oh no, it's just bad writing.
Yeah, so you get all that, and then you get this kind of sense, and he's like, oh, because I've done this, I have sacrificed my time as the Doctor so that Poppy can exist. But Poppy's not his daughter. It's just confuddling. And then I was grumpy old man in the room going, well, the fucking Doctor has a daughter.
Yeah.
From way back when I think, wasn't it someone cut off his... No, that's...
No, the Doctor's daughter is David Tennant's wife.
Yes. So there you go. You've got all that and stuff, and you're like, it's all convoluted. And then we have Jodie Whittaker popping up. And I love that little sequence. Because you were talking about it and you said you hadn't seen it. It's like, well, I didn't want to spoil it. And you were like, no, it's all right. I had it spoiled for me.
Yeah, because it was like, people on Twitter being like, here's the best scene of the fucking finale.
Yeah, and you were kind of... There was just a lovely thing that's like, where you have them looking at you. You were great. And it's just like, yes, like, we get that. It's like, you were great. No one gave you credit. Ncuti, you're not going to get... Ncuti's not going to get credit as being a great Doctor.
No.
I think he's another one of those like kind of like wonder kids in football. You go, all the potential. Mm-hmm. Great. You have genuinely a great actor who's going to go off to do fab things. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a bit like Eccleston, I guess, where it's like missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, we're going to wrap it up. We don't know as we're recording what's going to happen with Doctor Who.
Yeah, and we may as well wrap up what happens in the finale, because we talked about it at the start of the episode. It's sort of the Doctor regenerates into Billy Piper, and it's just left at that. And I think...
Oh, hello! Sorry.
Hello, everybody! It's left at that, and I think... You know, I get annoyed at it all the time. We've talked about it on previous podcasts, talked about it on a TV show. I get annoyed at the fact that in the world of today, we know too much about how the industry works. And children know too much about the industry works. And if I was a kid and that's how it ended, and then I didn't know when I was coming back, I'd be fucked off. Even if I enjoyed... If I was a kid and I was like, I like Billy Piper because I've watched
imaginary 5-year-old just getting properly fucked. I am fucked off, mother.
Fucked off. I put my pants
Rose, no. I wanted Peppa Pig.
Because when I was growing up watching Doctor Who, I had Doctor Who magazine. You know, whenever Eccleston was regenerated and David Tennant came on, and I was like, well, Eccleston's my Doctor. I don't know who this David Tennant guy is.
2 episodes in, I love David Tennant.
100%. Yeah. Like, I had the issue with Rose and the 10th Doctor on the front cover, and I remember looking at it being like, who the fuck's this git with his brown suit and his Converse? Who's this loser? Rose is looking cool. This is going to be good. Going into the Christmas special, and he's mostly...
He's not in it that much.
He's mostly asleep the whole time.
Yeah.
And then by the time it gets to the end, when he like fucking fights the guy with a sword and then properly puts on the suit, it was like, fucking let's go. This is good shit. Now you might have got a 10-year-old Adam excited with the Ncuti Gatwa season 1. You're like, cool, I can start a new show. This is my Doctor, blah, blah, blah. You know, enjoying it first season, enjoy it second season, and then it just sort of ends, and it's like, and that's that. You don't know when your show's gonna come back, and I just think that's a sour note to end both Ncuti's era on, and both just the sour note of like everybody being like, Disney isn't happy, BBC isn't happy, and it's like, I should know that. I should just know that next year there'll be another season of Doctor Who, and we'll continue this thread line. And even if Billy Piper was just stunt casting to get people interested in talking online, fine. Doctor Who's done that before.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way: if a third season of Doctor Who was there, and she's the Doctor, you know, you'd be like probably going like, you mumble grumble, but you'd just be like, you know what? I'd probably go with it because she's a great actor.
Yeah.
But in the same way, we've had that discussion with Jodie Whittaker. She's a great actor, and you know there was 2 men going, girls can't fly TARDISes. They're gonna fuck about. Their periods attract Daleks. For fuck's sake, come on. Can't we just have like Tennant forever? Can we just have him back? I just want him back. Like when you were saying that, I don't know why I pointed at you. It reminded me of a friend of mine, because Facebook was kind of just the thing. Well, not a thing, but Facebook, it wasn't the thing that it is now. A friend of mine, whenever Tennant left, and it was like as soon as we see Matt Smith, I can't remember what his first line was. Is it new teeth? Was that? Or is it, no, I think that's Tennant. That was his.
Geronimo.
Yeah, Geronimo. And I was like a mate text me going, worst Doctor Who ever. End of the first episode of the new series when he's kind of like facing off and he's looking at all the faces.
Yeah.
And you see all the, you go, best Doctor ever. You're like, yeah, that's what kind of fans are like. And I guess fans have been here, maybe not, well, fans of Doctor Who have been here before. Doctor Who's been cancelled before and been brought back. Fans of other shows have been left with cliffhangers and going like, well, what happens? What happens is, it's cancelled. It's not, and now the idea is like, well, we'll crowdfund and maybe do like a sequel, this, that, or a one-off movie. Or there's fans like me who like the Alien Covenant stuff, and you're like, well, what is actually going to go off and happen? How are you going to wrap up the whole kind of David thread that you set up there? You'll never know because it's cancelled. You can kind of come up with ideas. I guess with the David stuff, they've kind of brought that back a bit in the new Alien movies, and we don't know what they're doing with the Alien Earth. It seems to be they're going to set up a Alien Predator thing again. I don't know. The 5-year-old inside me is like, yeah! But, you know, fans have been through this before. Doctor Who fans have been through this before. For me, that finale, it's stunt casting, but it's there so people are talking about Doctor Who on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. They're talking about that minute, and they're talking about Rose and Billy Piper as opposed to Ncuti Gatwa's gone. Ncuti Gatwa only got 2 series. You know, we never got to see the best of him. That, you know, that's what people, for me, that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
He says after an hour. Rather than, oh, Rose is Doctor, what's that going to mean? You're like, it's there so people are talking about Doctor Who, so execs can go, well, that one click got like 5 million likes, and yeah, you know, it's going to be really interesting for our social media penetration on that story is really fab. It's for execs to kind of say, oh, people are talking about Doctor Who. It's trending, but it's trending for a bit of stunt casting as opposed to trending as in the sense that you have a good actor and for various reasons, I don't think it's really kind of been talked about, really about why his decision to leave yet. There will come a time when he will go on the con circuit, I'm sure.
Fuck Russell T Davies. Fuck.
Here's my mate, Christopher Eccleston. He just regenerates into Christopher Eccleston. It'll come out, and I guess. But maybe it's just the sense that not for him, and you again have a talented actor who maybe wants to work on other things.
Yeah.
And it happens.
I think you would have won a lot of people over if at the end of the episode you would have had the Doctor will return in such and such special. And if you're going to do the Rose Tyler fucking David Tennant thing, a lot of people theorizing that the bi-generation is going to be Rose and David Tennant coming together, and that's going to make the 17th Doctor, whatever. That's a fine thing. You know, it's nice to have some nostalgia for those two people that we love seeing work together. But whatever they announce, I just hope that, and it's a fucking shame to sit here and say, I hope whenever they announce the next Doctor that Russell T Davies leaves, because he's such a great writer. It's just these 2 seasons have just been, for both the fans and the outside world, it's just been a wet fart, and you know, it's not bringing any new people in.
No, it's not. Well, I guess what he was, if he was a football coach, right? You was right. We want your team to. Doctor Who's been sagging about. We want to get it back up. We want to get new fans in. We got it. He hasn't done that. You've just kind of people. Like, I'll put in the lovely Victoria Brown, who's kind of said she loves Doctor Who, but she's kind of lost interest in the series. Doesn't really watch it anymore.
By the Death Ship now,
yeah,
in Waterstones.
Yes, also available on Amazon and other retailers. If someone like that, someone like Victoria, who likes Doctor Who, isn't like, fuck it, I can't be arsed watching it. I don't think that these 2 series will have brought her back.
No.
There's other people I know, like Robert J. Simpson, who's a massive, massive Doctor Who fan. Loves looking back through the various guises. I can't remember which Doctor. I think it's. I could be. I don't want to say which is. I remember before we talked about who his favourite Doctor was, but someone who's a lot of love for Doctor Who's been really positive about this series from the videos I've seen on TikTok, up and down. I think he hasn't been glowing every episode, but you got all that stuff, but you're not. If he was there to bring back Doctor Who to the way that it was, maybe I'm misremembering it, and rose-tinted glasses, where it was like Saturday night TV. Doctor Who was something that has to be watched. Now, granted, TV has changed a lot since then. You know, Doctor Who is a victim of that in the sense that It's not just, it's on iPlayer now, and it's like, we'll have to add this up, that up. Now it's on Disney Plus, on other territories outside of the UK. That's all changed. People have much, much more, and I hate saying this phrase, Adam, content to watch.
Yeah.
There's a lot more things to get people's attention. I don't think this has worked for me. He has done interesting things, but in terms of Doctor Who in itself, the actual story structure, your bread and butter, your A to your Z, nah.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a downbeat note to finish. But hey, we're recording this Doctor Who episode, and we don't know what's happening with Doctor Who. We know this is CBBC's kind of weird kind of series, more kid-orientated, friendly series. We've had before. We've had kind of the Sarah Jones stories. We had Torchwood before. Funny, I've started rewatching Torchwood. Bring that back.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, bring it back. Apart from, problematic people.
Well,
we'll not pull about that getting his wally out everywhere.
I think...
It's only crack.
I think the 17th Doctor, if Rose is the 16th Doctor and they're going to make 17th Doctor, I think the only thing that will bring us back is if it says she regenerates into Matt Berry.
No, well, that would be good. Or she regenerates into Sydney Sweeney.
Oh!
Whoa. So on that note, thank you for listening. Hang on. I'm not the host. You're the host.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, everybody.
I just want to clarify for listeners that Adam at their point did, well, it was the wrong hand, but he nearly did an Elon Musk-esque Nazi salute.
Elon needs all the support he can get.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Join us next week for more nonsense, film-based nonsense. Go check out the Instagram page. Go check out Fright Club NI, Outer Rim Ramblin', Victoria Brown's book, The Death Ship. You can find online, Amazon, Waterstones, other bookstores. Fantastic book.
And you'll not get it in second-hand bookshops yet.
No, because it's too good.
It's too good. And Victoria will be really sad if she sees one.
Victoria wins a paperback coming out. Yeah. That's when you've hit it.
Is that in Kindle?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go. So join us next week for more fun and shenanigans. I hate this is the thing about podcasts. Can never wrap them up. So
bye.
Let's just say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, hello!